one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. I call this meeting to order. At a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia, duly called and held on the 23rd day of July 2018 at 7 p.m. in the Trustees' Room, second floor, Village Hall, Fredonia, New York, and public notice of the time and place of this meeting has been given to the news media and conspicuously posted in one or more designated public locations in accordance with Section 104 of the Open Meetings Law. My report is very short today. The only thing that I want to say is I want the board to consider what are your feelings about smoking in the park. There are some residents who came to me and asked me to consider something like that. There are examples around the area and in the state of New York, definitely, that the smoking is being banned. If I remember correctly, Kara, you suggested maybe we can do it a little bit more friendlier.
Yeah, someone said just put signs up that
Just
say,
signs
please consider not smoking or something to that effect.
Yeah, because it's very difficult to emboss it. And that's all. That's all I have to say. Rick?
A couple things. The engineers and the contractor will be coming Wednesday to cut holes in the fire hall. Fine. So they'll be here to actually take a look at the underside of the building at several different areas on the building. The second thing is, I don't know whether the village board understood what I was talking about the last time I brought up about the street department and the overtime that we're paying for the brush. And I'll give it to you in another way. We got 24 hours of work out of the men that actually man that site. So 24 actual hours, which equates to 48 overtime hours, which equates to, we're paying for 72 straight time hours, and we've gotten 24 hours of work. So we need to change the policy there in order for us not to be making this a free-for-all. And I'm going to suggest something. We currently have, I believe, Tuesday during the normal work hours for 2 hours. Leave that alone. Make Saturday a 4-hour dump time and eliminate the other one. And then you're going to get 4 hours of pay for 4 hours of work. And you will eliminate overtime. But this is, 24 hours and we paid for 72 straight hours, so.
How are we on the fence? Have we gotten any progress on the fence?
No. I think what you need to do is you need to get a professional in there. You can pass that around. We need to get a professional in there to actually take a look at, kind of like what you had come up with when you went down there.
Right.
And you wanted to move the fence back to a different position,
Location, right.
started in a different position. I think you need somebody to standardize. You can't have people come down there and just give you a quote on how much it would cost to put a fence up, because everybody's going to approach it in a different fashion. So you really have to have a set standard of, this is what
we
I
want, this is where it's going.
Exactly.
Okay.
I want an electronic gate here, I want this kind of, I want fob entry, I want, a stationary fence on the Cushing Street side. You have
Right.
to articulate everything, the gauge of the fence, all of the details regarding the specifications of the fence.
Okay.
All of that stuff really needs to be laid out before you actually call people in and start asking for proposals.
All right.
Okay.
I thought that we had talked, got 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago now, about getting a camera. Or is that
I
something?
have one quote, I'm in
Okay.
the process of getting two more.
Okay.
Because of the cost, but
Sure.
some of it would work out well with the construction of the fence, because if we do a mechanical operated front entranceway off of Temple Street, they have to dig a trench to run the electrical and that for it, and the proper camera set up for that area to keep an eye on the brush pile and everything would require a trench to be dug for that too, so this, hopefully this all line up right in the same period of time, and if we can reduce some costs on the fence, we could probably utilize some of that money towards a camera system for the entire DPW.
Sure.
Do you have a time that we should wait?
Well,
for-
Doug and I are on that committee. I think we can sit
Specific.
down with Perry. We can schedule a meeting with Perry, come up with some standardized process.
Trustee Barris, anything? Any of the trustees, any kind of
I have no
report?
comment.
I do. Just a quick note, I drove the trolley again for the History Days in the village just recently. Had an opportunity to have 68 passengers ride with me. A lot of out-of-town visitors stopping by to see what was going on.
That's
And
great.
enjoyed a 20-minute ride around our lovely little village. In return, I'd like to hand Rick $27 in tips. Unfortunately, I didn't work this one too hard, but I do have a couple of bucks for you. One other thing I'd like to bring up, that some of the people at the History Days were pointing out some of the lights in the park. Right now, I've noticed, and I've walked around afterwards, to realize there are 5 lights that are out of order in the park. And they've been out of order for quite some time. And there's always one light that's always on over on the, I believe it's the west side park. It's constantly on. I wanted to ask Perry why we're not getting a chance to work on this stuff, but he's not here.
Fountain light, I
tonight.
noticed, has been on constantly.
The what?
The fountain light
Yeah,
was
I
on
didn't
during the
notice.
day the other day.
Yeah, I didn't notice that one. But yeah, there's just some small committee things. And the other thing was Kara and I met with a woman just recently to start working on progress on a new website. So we're going to start putting together a standardized form or idea that we're looking for to move forward with our website. And then I'm hoping Dan will sit down with me pretty soon. I've got some more information regarding our policies and procedures on our social media. I'd
We
like
have
to
a
spend
meeting
some time
tomorrow
with you.
morning.
Yeah, give me a shout, we'll set something up.
All right, thank you.
Roger, we have a meeting tomorrow morning about that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Don't worry.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about then the labor there at the brush site. What Rick's suggestion made sense, to have 4 hours on Saturdays. Is that an issue with anybody? I mean, I can't see spending tons of money on overtime for this at all. It's kind of, if you can change the hours sometime, some way, I think that would work out better. I mean, I'm not saying close it on Saturdays or whatever, but if this makes more fiscal sense, absolutely. I don't see taxpayers having to pay 72 hours worth of pay for 24 hours worth of work at all.
I was kind of curious to see how we've done to this point. You would think that maybe the grass and the brush pickup would start to come less minimized. Now that the weather's gotten hot and drier, and we're kind of caught up with landscaping
I
in the
still
area.
have-
But
I
again,
have
Perry's
many-
not here, so
I have many phone calls about brush. When is the next time they're gonna come and pick my brush? The brush is in the front. I have a lot of phone calls about brush. Many people who are not happy because they have to cut it in smaller pieces. Many people are not happy because they passed 3 days ago and now I have more brush and nobody's picking it up. I mean, this is a very serious problem. That's how I see it. And it's because of it, partly the village doesn't look the way it's supposed to look. I have no magic wand, but my information about the DPW is that they don't have too many clipping, too much volume, let's say, of clippings.
Mayor,
By the
as
grass
far as
is
that,
nice.
I mean, nobody really considers the people who live around there. I realize everybody, I don't think it's a serious problem. I think it's an inconvenience for people. I have stuff too. If I miss the beginning of the month, it's done every month. I wouldn't want a big pile 50 feet high full of brush and and the debris next to my yard, you know, attracting mice and rats and rodents and stuff like that. So I can understand the people who live near there. So if we're not having a 50-foot pile of brush, I guess that's not the worst thing in the world. And if I have to cut my tree limbs into 3-foot or 4-foot pieces, that's until we come up with a plan to remedy the Webster Road site properly so that things can be taken up there in the near future.
I'm just conveying the problem as it conveys to me, and
People.
I am very uncomfortable having these phone calls very often as I do, because I have to go back and say, we're thinking about it, we're going to put a new fence, we're going to, I mean, we're going, and I'm just saying that you really have to come up with a solution. That's the end of it, I think. All right. Anything else? Correspondence was received from the Secretary of the Fredonia Volunteer Fire Department to transfer the name of Lisa Green from the active roles to the honor rolls. Excuse me.
Be resolved that the name of Lisa Green, Water Street, Fredonia, is hereby transferred from the active rolls to the honor rolls of the Fredonia Fire Police, effective immediately.
I second the resolution. I vote aye.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Bridge?
Yes.
Trustee Essek?
Yes.
Correspondence was received from Tommy Linares, President of Habitat for Humanity Club at St. Fredonia, requesting permission to use Barker Common and the gazebo on Saturday, September the 29th, 2018, from 7 a.m. set up to 5 p.m., 6 p.m. tear down for a Habitat for Humanity Harvest Festival to raise money to help build houses for families in need and or living in unsafe conditions.
Be it resolved, the permission is hereby granted to Tommy Linares, President of Habitat for Humanity Club at SUNY Fredonia, to use Barker Common and the gazebo for a Habitat for Humanity Harvest Festival event with craft stations, food and drinks, basket raffle games, live music, dance performances, and pumpkin painting on Saturday, September 29, 2018, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 6 p.m. tear down, and that Church Street between Temple Street and Park Place be closed during the set hours. And be it further resolved that the above use of the streets is subject to the direction of the Fredonia Police Department. And be it further resolved that this resolution is subject to the receipt of a certificate of insurance naming the Village of Fredonia as an additional insured in the amount of $1 million.
Second that motion.
I vote aye.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Bridge?
Yes.
Trustee Essek?
Yes.
A notice of petition was received from Agri-America Fruit Products LLC regarding their assessment for the property located at 200-222 Water Street, SBL, numbers 113.19-3-32.1, 113.19-3-33, 113.19-3-34 in the Village of Fredonia.
Whereas the village clerk has received a copy of the notice of petition and petition from Agri-America Fruit Products LLC against the Board of Assessment review for the town of Pomfret, the assessor of the town of Pomfret, and the town of Pomfret for a review of the assessment of certain real property known as 200-222 Water Street, SBL numbers 113.19-3-32.1, 113.19-3-33, 113-19-3-34 in the Village of Fredonia for the 2018-2019 tax year. Now therefore be it resolved that said notice of petition and petition be forwarded to the town of Pomfret, the assessing authority for the Village of Fredonia, requesting them to protect the interest of the Village of Fredonia.
I second that motion.
I
Just-
vote aye.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Bridge?
Yes.
Trustee Essek?
Yes.
Have a public portion. Anybody from the public wants to say anything or make a suggestion or question? Nobody's moving, so we close the public
Too
portion
hot to move.
and go to resolutions.
Can we do the reports first? We need the reports in the record as well.
Yeah, we forgot to
We
do
have the
those.
police
Oh, I'm
department
sorry,
reports
yes.
for the month of
Yes,
June
sir.
2018. There were a total of 614 incidents reported, 17 accidents, 26 arrests, 25 vehicle and traffic, and 13 parking tickets. Second report of the night is the Justice Report for the for the month of June 2018. Total cases of 179. There were 70 vehicle and traffic, 45 criminal, 47 village ordinances, 3 civil cases, 14 ABC laws. Total parking tickets collected $2,222. Total fines and surcharges of $14,231. And that's it for reports.
Thank you. Ms. Linden?
Be it resolved that the regular and overtime payrolls of the various village departments and bills approved by the Finance Committee and set forth in abstract number 502 and number 503 are hereby approved and directed paid.
Second.
Trustee Barris? Trustee?
I vote aye. I'd like to thank our administrator for forwarding the abstracts of the general ledger for the month of May for my inspection.
Very well. Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Briggs?
Yes.
Trustee Esser?
Real quick question. Roger just showed me this invoice here. Was that included on one of the abstracts, or is this something separate?
I
No,
have none saved.
that is for approval by the board, because the board hasn't approved that yet, so we haven't paid
Okay,
that.
so that's not part of the abstract. So
Correct.
as far as the abstract vote, I vote yes.
Okay, and, Mr. Esser?
Make a motion that we hereby enter into executive session to discuss the employment history of a specific individual.
I'll second that.
Trustee
I
Barris?
vote aye.
Trustee Christina?
Yes.
Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Briggs?
Yes.
Trustee Esser?
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming.